Today is not the day, baby. So since we have some folks who want to police my tone and tell me that I'm not taking this seriously enough, this is concerning and I'm being snarky, I'm going to take the opportunity to do my Black History Month appreciation post because I haven't done one yet. I have a couple drafts saved, but they get kind of dark because you see, darling, I live in one of those towns where the angry white steeple people nationalist places like 412 and Calvary have infiltrated the school boards, and every year they waste a buttload of taxpayer dollars looking for CRT in the curriculum because heaven forbid one of their children find out what they did in the past or, the history of the country. All right. These people have ruffled feathers by the mention of MLK. That's as bad as it is to them because the history books are already extremely whitewashed, talking about the ones we learned from in school. And it's interesting. Folks were asking me, they're like, well, if they keep going after Black history, are you going to pull your youngest from school? And I was like, oh, no. If they pull it, I'm going on the offensive. You see, they are worried that we're teaching our children the real Black history at home. And I haven't gone out of my way to teach them how bad it was at home. But I can absolutely cue motherfucking malicious compliance on that and make a point to share with my children the truth and to make sure they tell little Nancy exactly how bad it was and exactly what her great-great-grandpappy did. You see, a lot of the same folks who think the mention of MLK is offensive thought Django was fantasy. They watched Django Unchained and said, it wasn't like that, baby. That was the first movie I watched that actually came close. And it was worse than what was in that movie. Yes, that scene too. Whatever scene you're thinking about, it happened. That and more. You see, so you don't get to tell me that I don't know how bad this can get and how serious this is. I am loud about it because it is in my blood to know how bad it can get when steeple people have the reins. My literal ancestry is rooted in steeple people having full control and enacting it to cruelty for the sake of cruelty and owning people, eating people. Using our hair as stuffing for their cushions, using our skin for upholstery, using our teeth for their dentures. You know the wooden teeth of George Washington? They weren't wood, okay? The history books decided it looked bad for these people if they admitted that they were made of slave teeth. So they said he had wood dentures. He had slave teeth dentures. Do you even know where the term MFer comes from? It comes from the breeding program. Do I need to go further than that and break it down for you why that term came from the breeding program when they were no longer allowed to import human equipment and they needed to just make their own? Throughout history, Black women have been the bottom of the barrel, kicked by everyone else, and that is our daily experience, even to this day, despite all the gaslighting we get from people who look like this, who tell us that's not true. Those very same people who are telling us that's not true are currently writing lists of all the Black people in their department they want to get rid of. Higher education, something that was put into place to keep Black people out. Now that Black women are the most educated demographic in America, Team White Chads Only has just said, you know what, education doesn't matter. We're going to defund it because the only things that matter is if you're a man and you have a ding-a-ling and you're white. That's it. That's it. Everyone else is unqualified by default. We don't care about education because we fucking own that shit now. The stereotype about Black people not being able to swim, that's because y'all closed up the community pools after desegregation. There were neighborhood pools and everyone would go. When desegregation happened, a bunch of y'all poured acid in the water, poured concrete in the pools, closed them up and started paying money to put a pool in your own backyard because you didn't want to share water. Houses didn't have private pools a generation or so ago. That came about after segregation. And right now, the man that is going through the Pentagon, the man that has the information of every American on his phone, comes from an apartheid state and is using this country to start a fight with his homeland because they are returning stolen lands to indigenous Africans, and he thinks that's anti-white. In fact, Vance in his pants came up out of nowhere just to say that he supports first boyfriend rehiring someone who was fired for Ray comments. They also brought someone in on the national team who was fired for sharing secrets that he wasn't supposed to share. That's who's working on your data right now. I could keep going, but I'll end it with this. Yeah, I know how bad it can get because it happened to my family. I know how bad it can get. That's why I'm loud about it. I know how bad it can get. That's why I'm loud about it, and I keep repeating it, I keep saying it. And sometimes I say it with snark and sarcasm and a smile because a spoonful of sugar helps the motherfucking medicine go down. But what no one of these can do is come in here and police my tone and tell me that I don't understand how serious this is when, darling, why do you think I have my plan B on deck? Because I know what happens to the bottom rung of society when steeple people have the reins. So no, you don't have to tell me that I don't know how serious it is, okay? Go tell your neighbor. Go tell your friends. I hope you have the same cojones to go tell other people. Tell the people with the flags. Tell the people with the crosses on there. Go tell them, not me, okay? I'm already over here being as loud as I can be. I need you to be loud somewhere else other than my comment section about how you don't like my smile. That was my Black History Month TED Talk. Thank you.